Okay, so I'm going to explain about what to expect from the English exam paper. So it's going to be all objective, but some of the questions are going to be quite difficult for me lah. Particularly this and this. For these two, they are easy once you know the concept, but that's the thing. You have to know the concept first, and knowing the concept is a bit difficult for me. So I hope you guys understand. If you guys don't understand, I hope you guys can understand after this. First of all, present and past participle clauses. So that's the having done, worried by the news, blah 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 blah. So like you add a participle either at the beginning or at the middle of a sentence to in an easier sense, like try to shorten the sentence. Like instead of saying he looked out of while he looked out of the helicopter, he felt scared. So instead of saying instead of saying while he looked at the helicopter, he felt scared. You can instead say feeling slightly scared, he was looking out of the helicopter. So okay, I hope that's a good enough example. So there are three types. There's the present, there's the past. Okay, actually there's only these two, but this past you can also add perfect, and you can add conjunctions. So conjunctions like after, before, and on, and so on. So present is using present participle. So ing is not just in continuous tense or gerunds. It can also be a participle. They are not the same. So but they all have one common thing, which is the ing at the back. So the best way to describe when to use present participle for your clause is when there is number one, when there is two things happening at the same time, and number two, when you're explaining something that is still ongoing until now. Like for example, while doing my homework, I listen to music. So you don't the while is a conjunction, so I'll mention more about that later. But if I write doing my homework, I listen to music, that's using the present participle clause, because I'm doing my homework and I'm also listening to music. And then another one is knowing she likes chocolate, he bought her a chocolate cake. So it's he bought the chocolate cake a while ago already, but he's known that she likes chocolate cake for a while, and she still likes chocolate cake, so it's still ongoing until now. So you use ing. Next is past. Past is when it's basically anything that relates to something that already happened. Like for example, worried by the news, she called the hospital. So she's worried by the news at that time. She's not always worried, right? She's not always worried, but she's worried at that moment. So worried by the news, she called the hospital. And then usually these types of situations are in passive clauses. So it's like passive clauses is like ayat passive. So it's like you're describing something in a manner that already happened. Like for example, carried by the wind, she parachuted safely down to the ground. So she already parachuted. So because she already parachuted, then you say carried by the wind, because she was carried by the wind just now, but not anymore. So that's when you use past. And then the tricky one is when it comes to perfect. So I spelled perfect wrong. Don't mind my handwriting. Just listen to me. Perfect is when you put the word having and then a past participle next to it. It's always going to be a past participle. Always past participle. So you don't say having been done, because that is past perfect continuous. Instead you just say having done. So yeah, it's not the same as past perfect. It's a perfect. It's a perfect perfect clause, and it's having plus past participle. So when is the best time to use it? Using having can be a replacement for the word after. Like for example, after doing my homework, I went to sleep. So I already did my homework, and then I went to sleep after that. it's different than past because for the past stuff kan, it's like describing why. It's not an action, it's why, a reason why. So use past participle. But if you're describing what you did after something else, you use having in front of it. So having done my homework, I went to sleep. So yeah, I think that's the best way I can describe it. So yeah. Maybe give like a few warnings. So number one, do not use having too much. I said that you only use having when I think it's gonna be multiple choice anyway, but just in case it isn't, don't overuse having. Don't put having for everything, which is like most people's mistakes. You use present clause instead. Present participle clause, because that's the most common one. But if it's something that you have that if you're explaining like something that happened in the past, if you're explaining something that happened in the past, then you use past perfect and a past participle. Sorry, and then if you're describing actions that happened in the past, then you use a perfect participle. So I guess. Oops, sorry, I accidentally tripped. Not tripped up. Okay, that is verbs of perception with infinitive or gerund. So I'm not going to touch on this much. I will say infinitive is just a word. Most of you know it as to infinitive, but to is just an addition to the infinitive. The infinitive is like kata dasar. It's like the word itself. Kata tunggal, I guess you can say. So it's the word itself. And then gerund is you put ing. So it's like imbuhan lah. So infinitive is the word itself. Gerund is you add ing. So when do you use infinitive? When do you use gerund? There are two types of scenarios. Number one is when you experience an action, you only experience it while it's happening. Like for example, you are going through the city and then you saw a parade going on. So you only saw part of the parade. You didn't see the whole parade. So you saw only part of an action. You experienced part of an action. However, if you were at the parade from the start, and then you watch until finish, then that is an entire action. So you use infinitive when you experience an entire action, and you use gerunds when you experience only part of it. So for example, I saw a man painting a house. So you only saw the man painting, but you didn't see him paint the whole house. You only see him paint a bit, and then you walk away. So that is part of an action. You only saw him paint a little bit, not the whole painting session. But let's say you did, if you're crazy enough to watch paint dry, then you can say I saw a man paint that house. So you saw the man paint the whole house. So yeah, you use infinitive when you are describing an entire action, when you saw the whole action, and you add ing if you only saw some of it. You'll know if it's infinitive or gerund, but some sentences can be both. So yeah, take note of that. Some sentences can be both. Like the painting stuff. Like maybe it makes more sense to use infinitive a gerund, because who is crazy enough to watch someone paint the whole house? But it's possible. So choose the more possible one. If they're both equally possible, then it's fine. But choose the more possible one. Okay, next is idioms related to noise. So this one is just peribahasa. So number one is making a lot of noise. So that's like making a lot of attention, a lot of stuff going on. I don't know how to say this. Making a lot of noise. Basically, they're like hyping something up, promoting something so much that it becomes that you see it every day and so on. Next is for crying out loud. It is basically you complaining, and then made his point loud and clear. So that is trying to get your point straight to make sure that the person listens 100%. And then keep quiet, just keep quiet. Peace and quiet is completely quiet. Loudmouth is someone who just keeps talking. Okay, next is admiration vocabulary. So that is like addicted. Let me just look at this again. Center of attention, addicted, fixation on, object of their affection, idol, stalking, worship, and fascination. So fascination and addiction are similar. Fascination is more about being like wow on something, while addiction is just being creepy. So I hope that's okay. And then there's also center of attention and object of affection, or object of your affection. So center of attention is like something that everyone focus on. Object of your affection is similar, but it's more towards a specific someone a specific someone. It's like people focus on someone, like specifically someone, and like they love that person. So that's object of their affection because they love that thing. But if people just want to look at it, that is a center of attention. Fixation on is just being interested in something. Everyone knows what idol is. Everyone knows what stalking is. Worship is just simping. So okay. Next is expressions with take. So that one, I haven't actually. Okay, never mind. I just remembered. Okay, take my word for it. So take my word for it is trust me. Take his mind off means something to distract him from something else. Taken an interest in means getting interested in something or getting into something. Take it that means I heard that. Take it personally means you just you are affected by it and you want to pay back. And take over their lives means something that is controlling them. And then lastly is vocabulary miscellaneous, which is basically a special section where you actually don't know what the words are coming out. So for example, in the last exam, I remember one of the words was what's it called again? Never mind. But yeah, there was like one section where all of the words we didn't actually learn. So that one is just that one is just us, like we have to try and figure out what the words mean. So yeah. And then next is SPM English. So closed text, I'm sure we all know what closed text is. It's multiple choice, so don't worry. But this extended writing part is the interesting one. So when this exam will focus on narrative writing. So narrative writing is slightly different from your normal essays. So just like your normal essays, your introduction must have a hook, and then a thesis statement. So if you don't remember what these are, a hook is something to attract attention, while a thesis statement is something to give your readers an idea on what's going to happen next. Like for example, I knew that my life will be much worse after this. So you're giving an idea that something bad's going to happen. So that is your thesis statement. So your introduction must have a hook, and then you add like a sentence or something, and then you add your thesis. So that's number one. And then number two is in your EC part, in your main content, you must have a topic sentence and also a transition sentence. So a topic sentence is basically like the main topic of the paragraph. Like for example, I got lost, I couldn't find my way out. So and then after that topic sentence, you describe how you couldn't find your way out, or why you couldn't find your way out, or how do you feel because you couldn't get out. So the topic sentence is like the main topic, the general idea of what your paragraph will be about. And then this transition sentence, the first three we've learned it a lot of times, but this transition sentence is very interesting, in the way that you have to set up the next paragraph. By setting up the next paragraph, I mean you have to give like a sneak peek. You have to give like a description on what to expect next. So if thesis statement is to what to expect in the whole story, transition sentence is like trying to set up, trying to give an idea, or trying to lead to the next paragraph. Because you don't want the first paragraph to be about how you got lost, and the second paragraph is how you is suddenly how happy I am that I'm home. How the heck did you get home? So so you want to explain them in a very orderly manner. That's the thing. You have to be very structured. It cannot be jumbled up. It has to be very organized. It's 6 to 5 paragraphs. No word count. Don't trust the word count. Just write whatever you want. And hope you guys get good marks. It's English anyway. If you guys don't get good marks in English, good luck with the other subjects. It's either English or Chinese depending on which one you're good in. But yeah, transition sentence is basically to get ready to start the next paragraph. So it's something to lead to the next paragraph. It doesn't have to be like a sneak peek. It just has to be something that is slightly related to the next paragraph. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.